Welcome back. You're still watching Network Africa on Channels Television. It's our Africa Tech segment. Now, earlier this month, the West African Examinations Council released the May-June 2015 Senior School Certificate Examination result, which showed that over 1.5 million candidates sat for the examination. But it's quite disturbing to know that only 38.68 of that number obtained credits in 5 subjects and above, even though there is little improvement compared to the results which we saw in the previous year. It's not significant enough. Now, improving education has been a big issue, and there are several challenges surrounding it. But today we'll narrow it down specifically to technology and how it can be used to improve teaching and learning. Well, joining me is Mr. Olanrewaju Ogunkunle. He is the founder and CEO of Revocube Technologies Limited. Revocube is the schoolcube.net service provider, which has the most robust school information management system web portal in Nigeria. He joins me in studio right now. Olanrewaju, thank you very much for your time on Africa Tech in Network Africa. Now, let's just do a backtrack in history now. Okay. How exactly has technology helped in improving education?
Yeah, technology has really played a very big role in the improvement of education in Nigeria. But the challenge is the way we use the technology has pros and cons. It depends on how we apply it, because if you don't see the good side and apply the good side of technology, it won't give you the best results. Now, technology, from what you said, I heard you mention the results and why.
Yeah.
Now, these are things that have been degrading over the years that were not tracked. But if technology was applied properly, we could have been collecting these records, because these students don't just fail suddenly. There would be there's a trend. If they had been tracked right from the first day at school in GSS 1, GSS 2, you know when some children are dropping in mathematics, when they're dropping in English, you know when to react. But unfortunately, we are still taking so much time to embrace technology. We are still seen as something in the distant future. But if we really employ and apply technology, we can really get there. Because we respond when we see the results. But if we've been tracking these changes, we would have caution to find a way around them.
Now, based on what you said, the word I've heard you mention is tracking.
Yes.
So that's basically where we got it wrong.
Yes.
So is that the only way? Is that what we should be looking at in order to improve, like systems that could help in learning and also teaching? Is that the only area? So what other areas should we be looking at?
There are several ways, because now these children, most of the students now, they spend more time outside the 4 walls of the classroom. And most times you find them glued to the television. They just pick up chunks. Like I told you, technology has its advantage and its disadvantage. So if the parents, every stakeholder, the parent, the school, and everybody, distant learning, e-learning and all that, if you can bring all these tools together, we can really engage these children even when they are outside the 4 walls of the institution. And 2, there are several other methods. There are interactive learning systems, voice prompts, interactive boards, because some of these children are sent to pictures.
Yes.
They learn when they see and when they can interact with these things. So if we can just try to implement these methods into our method of education in Nigeria, I believe there can be an improvement.
But one other thing is, you can't really be with your children 24/7. Yes. So how do you get to monitor what they're doing in terms of the tracking? You can't do that 24/7. So what should we be looking at?
The tracking, it's not just from the parents, and it's also from the school and from the government. I mentioned results collection and analysis.
Yes.
Okay, for example, like I mentioned earlier, a child in GSS 1 came into school, was very vibrant in mathematics and English. We recorded it on a system. The system is right there, not some files and folders in the principal's office. After a whole year, which can be, the file can be way gone, somewhere messed up with moist and all that. After a whole year, there's another result. We collected it. But after about 4 or 5 years, we can actually analyze, and we don't really have to wait 4 or 5 years. After 2 years, we can notice that, okay, last year, with infographics, you can notice on charts that, okay, last year, this boy was good in mathematics. What happened in GS2? What happened? So we can quickly try to push in some other questions and
nipping it in the bud.
Yes, and
stitching
just start saving nine.
I really get that now.
Improve things.
What about implementation? Everything you just said. obviously makes sense. You've hit the nail on the head. But how do we get to see results? How do we see, what steps do we need to take now, be it the students, be it the parents, be it the government, so that we can actually start to see results based on all the recommendations you've given?
Okay, perfect. Like I said earlier, we have to embrace technology. Because, for example, a car is an application of technology, science to make life easier. We can't avoid taking vehicles because of auto crashes.
Yes.
It has its pros and cons. But I discovered that because of our products, we've been through several schools, they are still finding how to embrace the new technology. They still have their fears. What if our files are missing on the internet? But can you have it on a cloud system for us to analyze and solve these problems? So I guess if we can really, I believe, not just guess, I believe that if we can embrace technology and apply it the right way, there will be an improvement in the communication system of this country.
Well, thank you so much. I've been speaking to Olanrewaju Ogunkunle, who is the CEO of and also the founder of Revocube Technologies Limited. And Revocube is the schoolcube.net service provider, which has the most robust school information management system web portal in the country. Thank you so much. He's right here with us in studio. And at this point, we're going to we did send a question of the day, and that was yesterday based on the breast milk ban, which is coming up in Nigeria. And when we asked you what you thought about that, here are top tweets of the day. The first one is coming from Okuntade, and he says, actually this is coming from Joseph Nix, and he says, I hope Pians people, I don't know what Pians means, but he hopes the Pians people do not take advantage of the poison people and most things for that country not to get ahead. I believe what he's trying to say is that he hopes that people do not take advantage of this situation and use it for their own personal benefits. Thank you very much. And the next one is coming from Okuntade, and he also says that he has got a concern here, and he's asking if the milk that's collected will be pasteurized, and that is if the donor will be pre-screened before donating. And based on what Dr. Odibo said yesterday, we understand that that will indeed be the case. Thank you so much for your feedback, and please keep them coming. Now, here is our question of the day. We're asking you, based on what's happening in Burundi, would you advise the Burundians who fled the country in the crisis to return now that the president is asking them to come back after he's been sworn in for the third time? That's the question. Feel free to send us your feedback either via email or Twitter. The address and handle are right there on your screen. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching Network Africa right here on Channels Television. I'm Cynthia Are.